The day of the Lord is a period of tribulation like the world has never seen. Isaiah chapter 13, verses 9 to 10. Isaiah chapter 13, verses 9 to 10 reads thus: For behold, the day of the Lord is coming, which cannot be escaped, a day of wrath and anger, to make the world desolate and to destroy sinners out of it. The purpose of the day of the Lord is to destroy sinners out of this world. The wicked will be completely destroyed in the day of the Lord. For the stars of heaven and Orion and all the host of heaven shall not give their light, and it shall be dark at sunrise, and the moon shall not give her light. So the day of the Lord is going to begin with complete darkness. That's how we are going to know that the tribulation has begun, when the sun stops shining, and the moon stops shining, and the stars stop shining. There will be complete darkness. Then the destruction, the desolation will begin. And it's at that point that it will be too late to repent. So the sinners must repent now before it's too late. Question number 2. What sign can we expect before the day of the Lord comes? Malachi chapter 4, verses 3 to 5. Malachi chapter 4, verses 3 to 5 reads thus: And behold, I will send to you Elias the testament. This is Elijah the prophet, before the great and glorious day of the Lord comes, who shall turn again the heart of the father to the son, and the heart of a man to his neighbor, lest I come and smite the earth grievous. So Elijah the prophet has been commissioned to teach Israelites to love one another. For hundreds of years, our Christian slave masters taught us to love our enemies and to hate our own people. This is why many Israelites feel so comfortable cursing and attacking their own people while admiring the oppressor. This is also why so many Israelites reject their own people and choose to marry the other nations. They hate their people. The time has come for Israelites to love one another and to marry our own people as commanded in the law of the Most High. This is what Elijah has been commissioned to do, to encourage the Israelites to remember and love our people and to marry our own people. He's turning the heart of the fathers to the sons. He's turning the heart of the man to his neighbor so that there can be love in Israel. Verse 5. Remember the law of my servant Moses, accordingly as I charged him with it in Horeb for all Israel, even the commandments and the ordinances. This is what Elijah teaches the people, to remember the law of Moses, to do that which is written in the law. Question number 3. What will happen in the day of the Lord? Isaiah chapter 13, verses 3 to 8 and verses 11 to 16. That's Isaiah chapter 13, verses 3 to 8 and verses 11 to 16. It reads thus: I give command and I bring them. Giants are coming to fulfill my wrath, rejoicing at the same time and insulting. So the Most High is going to send giants to destroy his enemies, to destroy those who have taken his people captive. Verse 4. A voice of many nations on the mountain, even like to that many nations, a voice of kings and nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts has given command to a warlike nation to come from a land afar off, from the utmost foundation of heaven. The Lord and his warriors are coming to destroy all the world. This is what's going to happen in the day of the Lord. It's a rescue mission to deliver the Israelites from captivity. Verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is near. We have already received the sign of Elijah teaching the children of Israel to come back together, to love one another, to marry our own people, and to keep the commandments of the Most High God. So we know that the day of the Lord is near, and destruction from God shall arise. Shall means it's guaranteed to happen. Verse 7. Therefore, every hand shall become powerless, because the enemies of God cannot resist these things that will happen on the day of the Lord. They will be powerless to defend themselves, and every soul of man shall be dismayed. They'll be pulling their hair out. They'll be running around like headless chicken, and they can't do a thing to defend themselves. Verse 8. The elders shall be troubled, and pangs shall seize them as of a woman in travail, and they shall mourn one to another, and shall be amazed, and shall change their countenance as a flame. But they'll be powerless to help themselves. Verse 11. And I will command evils for the whole world. This is worldwide destruction, and will visit their sins on the ungodly, because it's those who break the commandments that the Most High is coming to destroy with his army of giants. And I will destroy the pride of transgressors. They are very prideful people who like to boast about how they break the commandments, and nothing happens to them. Well, the Most High in that day will destroy the pride of transgressors, and will bring low the pride of the haughty. So humble yourself before it's too late. And they that are left shall be more precious than gold tried in the fire. That's because very few will remain. The majority of the earth population will be destroyed in the day of the Lord. It continues. And the man shall be more precious than the stone that is in Sophia. So just like gold is very precious, and these precious stones are so hard to find, men shall be hard to find after the destruction in that day, because very few will be left. Verse 13. For the heavens shall be enraged, and the earth shall be shaken from her foundation. This is the entire earth being shaken. Not a little tremor in some country, not even a great earthquake in some remote location. Everybody on planet Earth will feel the shaking, and by this time it will be too late to repent, because of the fierce anger of the Lord of hosts in the day in which his wrath shall come on. And they that are left shall be as a fleeing fawn, and as a stray sheep, and there shall be none to gather them. So they're going to be like stray sheep without a shepherd. They don't know what to do with themselves. It continues, so that a man shall turn back to his people, and the man shall flee to his own land. Now, I'll make it clear. This is a rescue mission for the Israelites, which means that no Israelite is going to be put to death at this point. The giants that are coming for those non-Israelites that enslaved the Israelites. They are coming for our captors. They're not coming to destroy us. Verse 15. For whosoever shall be taken shall be overcome, and they that are gathered together shall fall by the sword. This is why every man shall turn back to his own people, and a man shall flee to his own land. People are not going to be gathering together in this melting pot that we see in many countries today. And they shall dash their children before their eyes. The giants are going to take the children of the ungodly and dash them. And they shall spoil their houses and shall take their wives. This is what they did to the children of Israel. Therefore, it is being recompensed upon their own heads. This is their tribulation. This is the day of the Lord. When the Most High sends his army of giants to kill the ungodly and the prideful, no Israelite will be killed. Remember, this is a rescue mission. These giants have been commissioned to kill the enemy, to kill those who have taken the Israelites into captivity, not to kill the Israelites themselves. Also, the Most High has a remnant of Gentiles, meaning non-Israelites, who will not be killed. They are not ungodly, they are not prideful people.
War is coming. Get ready for a fascinating journey through the book of Joel, chapter 3. We are about to delve into a prophetic judgment on the Gentiles that will leave you in awe. But first, who are these Gentiles? They are the nations distinct from Israel, as described in Strong's Concordance number 1484. Joel, a minor prophet, unveils an intriguing message about the future, a time when Yah's judgment will fall upon these Gentile nations. In Joel 3 verses 1 through 2, we see the Most High's promise to restore the fortunes of Judah and Jerusalem. They will truly be great again. But the destiny of the Gentiles appears quite grim. Picture a grand assembly where all nations gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat for divine judgment. Joel 3:2 reveals the criteria for judgment, how these nations treated Yah's chosen people Israel. Those who wrong them face consequences. This testifies to Yah's integrity. He judges nations based on their actions towards his chosen people. The Gentiles spread Yah's people worldwide, trading boys for prostitutes and girls for wine. Throughout history, after the Egyptian captivity, Israel found itself under the rule of the Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, and more recently, the Americans.
The enemy will not get away with how he's treated us. That's a promise from us to Yah.
Do you know about the three eclipses that will combine to create a giant aleph or an alpha over America? And you can see the apex of the alpha is about on the Cascade areas of the West Coast. Michael Snyder says, I'm about to share something with you that is truly remarkable. The paths of three eclipses will combine to form a giant aleph over America, and hardly anyone knows about this. Of course, the aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, or alpha of the Greek alphabet. The second letter in the Hebrew alphabet is beta. Most people don't realize this, but our word alphabet originally came from the combination of alpha and beta, and this is the fact that a giant aleph will soon be completed over the United States. Will it be significant? I believe that it is, and I'll explain why in this article. There shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars in the last days. So we should be watching for such things. In order for an eclipse to happen, both the sun and the moon must be involved. Previously, I've explained how the Great American Eclipse of 2017 would later combine with the Great American Eclipse of 2024 to create a giant X across America. The following is an excerpt from my book entitled 7-Year Apocalypse. Well, what would you say if I told you that an enormous X that is in the process of being marked across the United States will be completed in the year 2024? I know that it may sound very strange, but stick with me and you will soon understand what I'm talking about. On August 21st, 2017, the Great American Eclipse made headlines all over the world. It was the very first solar eclipse since 1918 that was able to be seen all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. In the United States, the path of the eclipse started in Oregon. It continued all the way across the United States, and it extended to the country in South Carolina. But what makes that eclipse unlikely to any other is the fact that it will combine with another historic eclipse in 2024 in the form of a giant X across America. On April 8, 2024, another Great American Eclipse will make headlines all over the planet. The path of that eclipse will cross over the states of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. If you plot the paths of the 2017 eclipse and the 2024 eclipse on the same map, you'll clearly see that they combine to form a massive X right over the heartland of the continental United States. And the map shows that what the giant X will look like. The precise intersection formed by the Great American Eclipse of 2017 and the Great American Eclipse of 2024 covers portions of the states of Kentucky, Illinois, and Missouri. And if you closely examine this area on the map, you'll see that it falls right in the middle of the New Madrid fault zone. In several of my books, I've discussed the fact that someday there will be an absolutely catastrophic earthquake along the New Madrid seismic zone. the fault zone, and it will be so massive that it will permanently alter the geography of the United States, and you won't want to be anywhere around when that quake finally arrives. But now we're discovering that there is even more to the story. On October 14, 2023, an annual solar eclipse will cross the United States from Oregon to Texas. If you overlay the path of that annual solar eclipse on top of the paths of the Great American Eclipse of 2017 and the Great American Eclipse of 2024, you'll see that those three eclipses actually combine to create a giant alpha aleph across America. A tweet that was posted by Randy Sevi about the phenomenon has created quite a stir. He says, "I just saw this and got the shivers. Look at that. Those are the 2017, 2023, and 2024 solar eclipses in the United States. That's God's signature. It's an aleph. The aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The aleph in Hebrew has a numerology value of 1. The aleph is also a representative of God and the oneness of God, the one true God. The aleph is also made of 3 lines. Three is biblically representing divine wholeness and completeness and perfection. This aleph is from the Paleo-Hebrew script, also Paleo-Hebrew, Proto-Hebrew, or Old Hebrew, the written system found in ancient inscriptions of biblical Israel and Judah. In fact, it was basically like the ancient Greek alphabet. Now, when you look at the map that Randy Sevi shared on Twitter, there's also no doubt that it looks like an aleph. So what does all of this mean? I'm not entirely sure, but let me share something else with you. If you do a Google search for when the new moon in Jerusalem will be in October 2023, you will discover that it will be on October 14. And that is a day when the annular solar eclipse will cross our country from Oregon to Texas. And if you do a Google search for when the new moon in Jerusalem will be in April 2024, you will discover that it will be on April 8th. And that is the day when the Great American Eclipse crosses America and completes the aleph. By the way, April 8th also happens to be the first day of the first month of the Hebrew calendar. In other words, a brand new biblical year begins on that date. I find it hard to believe that this is just coincidence. I think that God is trying to tell us something. Of course, He has been trying to warn us in hundreds of different ways, but most people don't want to listen. The signs of the end times are really being fulfilled all around us, but most of us refuse to see the truth.
Video footage from Scotland that shows what look like multiple suns in the daytime sky just for a brief moment. Very rare video footage coming out of Scotland. But first, over here at spaceweather.com, we have 2 comets entering the solar system right now as I do this video. I want to take you guys now over to Scotland. This is rare video footage that was submitted on August 20th of 2023 by Mike from Scotland as he was looking up into the sky, and he was filming the sun behind a thin layer of clouds, thin and thick at times, but the clouds were acting like a decent solar filter. You could see the entire sun without the aid of sunglasses or any type of filter. It kind of reminded me of an H-alpha filter, just a different color. But the clouds were, again, acting as a solar filter. When this happens, just out of nowhere, he's filming from the same location, doesn't move, doesn't zoom in, doesn't do anything different, when all of a sudden 2 more circles appear in the video that appear to be suns, along with the primary one that he had been filming the entire time. And then watch over here on the right hand side, you're going to see the sun pop back out right there. There it is, without its 2 companions. So how did that do that? Totally bizarre. Again, he didn't zoom in or out. His position remained the same during the entire length of the video. And right here are a few still images when the 3 were visible in his video. And again, this is probably some sort of a trick of light, I would assume. I don't know how this happened because, again, he didn't change a thing. He was just standing there filming without zooming in or doing anything different when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 2 more what appeared to be perfectly round circles, the same size as the sun, appeared down here at around the 5 o'clock position of the sun, appearing to be behind the clouds. And then here's a close-up view of the video that he took when the other two right there appeared, almost ghostly looking views of what appeared to be two more suns below the primary sun that he was filming above Scotland back on August 20th of 2023, just a few hours ago, actually, less than 48 hours ago. He took this video footage from Scotland. Thank you, Mike. Really appreciate that.
I'll continue to do my best to sound the alarm, but I want to thank you for helping me do that. And this is by Michael Snyder. He says, about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times.
I was home. First thing I remember was how bright everything got. Reflection off the water. He took his crown jewel and cleaved it clean to the bone. That meteor was his reset button.
They shall take them captive after they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
But I genuinely ask, what did we ever do to deserve black every single thing?
African American.
We were born here in chains. We were beat, raped, and murdered. We fought for our freedom just to end up with Jim Crow and segregation and being lynched.
So I will lay
by
my
the
vengeance
KKK.
upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
We were segregated
This
for
is
our own
going to be the first
communities.
way, and then you're going to
Been
finish it
denied
off.
jobs,
And they shall
denied
do
funding
evil
for our
evil
schools.
for the fight.
The so-called white man.
You dehumanize and demonize and kill our black women and nobody bats an eye. What exactly did black people do? What exactly did we do?
I don't have to explain what's understood, man.
To 6 minutes in some cases.
So the world
We don't
freeze to death in 5 or 6 minutes.
No, we're going to burn. It's going to get hot because we'll have nothing blocking infrared. Because the introduction of a brand new gravitational force will diminish the gravitational force of the sun. That's something else a lot of people don't really think of. Now, keep in mind the second sun, nobody may ever see the second sun. They may never see it, but that's not going to stop the effects we're about to have from it, right? Because we will have that photonic exchange, meaning our sun is going to go black. During its closest proximity to our sun, all the photons are going to be redirected. People will see it. It'll look like a bridge in the sky.
The sun will be darkened. The sun will
We
be
won't
darkened.
see it. That's right. It'll be black. No light's going to hit us. The photons are going to be redirected towards the alternate star. They have observed this hundreds of times happening in real time out in space. In fact, the rule is most planets have a second sun. It's very rare for a system to just have one star.
So the binary system that's coming is really the second sun, and it's getting into a point where at some point it's bigger than our sun. I think it's much bigger.
Well, it's of a different nature.
People will have heart attacks. Seeing the
Of course they will.
They'll think the world, it's over, and they'll just fall over dead in fear, right?
Right, because they won't understand. Well, no one's explaining that.